Okay, next speaker, Ms. Tin Pei Ling.
Deputy Speaker, sir, I rise to support the Finance Minister's budget statement. This year's budget is a courageous statement. In no other democracy will a Finance Minister announce a tax increase 4 or more years in advance, with a general election in between. No government will willingly announce a decision to raise taxes, and especially not one which wants to continue to be in government. To do so takes integrity and courage, to be willing to lay up front the challenges facing our nation and explain what we need to do to surmount these challenges. Many Singaporeans are unhappy with the move to raise GST by 2% sometime between 2021 and 2025. Faced with high cost of living, such a move is painful and worries many. Enhancing financial assistances and support packages will therefore be imperative in helping our low-income and perhaps even our middle-income families and Singaporeans to cope. But emotions and concerns aside, we know that money needs to be raised to fund new projects and programs. There is always a trade-off. The Finance Minister had, in his speech, explained in detail why he has taken such an unprecedented move. Indeed, we are faced with many challenges: technological disruptions, rapid aging in our population, mature infrastructure that needs to be maintained, new infrastructure that needs to be built, and more. We need to respond decisively as one people. How we respond now will determine if Singapore can continue to be a thriving nation amidst a highly competitive world, one in which our young will continue to have a bright future and our seniors are properly taken care of in their old age. Budget 2018 takes a long-term and strategic view. It sets out a program to transform and revitalize our economy, to boost infrastructure and build a smart nation, to strengthen our hardware and social infrastructure and prepare for an aging population. These are important priorities to keep Singapore strong and viable, and the best home for all Singaporeans. To fund these priorities, we need to raise revenue. The Finance Minister has set out 3 ways to do so. First, impose spending controls, cutting ministries' budget growth. Second, finance some of the infrastructure development through bonds. And third, raise GST. My view is that we should do these 3 ways in that order. In other words, first ensure that our ministries and statutory boards are run in the most efficient manner. Be brutal in cutting waste and inefficiencies. Encourage innovative ways to raise productivity. I do not advocate starving the public services of much-needed resources to do their job properly. But if we are to raise taxes, we owe it to Singaporeans to make sure that what the government has already collected is not squandered. In the same vein, could we make better use of this year's surplus? One big irony of Budget 2018 is that we report a surplus of $9.6 billion, even as we make an advance announcement of an increase in GST to raise revenue. I understand from the Finance Minister that this is an exceptional surplus, and we cannot always count on having exceptional surpluses. Still, could we, say, direct this surplus and any others in future into a fund separate from the reserves, perhaps find ways to invest it to build it further, so to fund our increased needs and hence defer any GST hike to a later date. Second, the Minister announced that bonds will be issued to fund infrastructure projects. So far, market reports appear to be positive, with some believing that this will turbocharge the debt market. However, we need proper safeguards. We must not make borrowing an easy way out and put future generations of Singaporeans in deep debt. Hence, I would like to ask whether this move will significantly increase our national debt. How will the bonds be paid out? Whether this will mean higher interest rates and higher risk of having to raise more tax in future. What safeguards are in place to ensure that we are able to meet the payments and also fulfill our projects going ahead? Hard truths, hard decisions. I believe Singaporeans will understand the rationale and trade-offs for raising GST, however painful it is for our citizens, provided that the government works very hard to deliver on promises and prove that every revenue dollar raised is efficiently and effectively used for the public good. Singaporeans have trusted this government for decades and made many painful sacrifices for our nation's long-term good. We must never squander this trust and must do our best to protect Singaporeans. Deputy Speaker, allow me to continue in Mandarin. 议长先生，一个社会如何敬老续贫，不只反映我们的文明，也反映了我们的道德修养以及共同的理念。但是，真正要做到敬老续贫，不能止于言说，得身体力行，得通过体制、政策以及行动，实实在在地体现出来，确保年长与较弱势的国人得到妥善的照顾。因此，我国在面临人口急速老化的当儿，政府必须果断地做出相对的政策与资源分配的调整，甚至是大整形，以为一个更成熟的人口做好准备。在照顾年长国人这方面，政府在过去的多年里做出了许多的努力，也从中吸取了许多宝贵的经验。近年来，更是在保健津贴与亲老服务方面做出许多改善。例如，在政府推出一系列的保健津贴配套后，许多年长居民不再需要我们自发为低收入年长居民抵消医药开销的麦波生关怀基金。另外，政府的乐龄支援网络的实验计划也取得了非常不错的成绩。麦波生有幸成为实验计划的对象之一。以往我们的乐龄若有什么需要，我们得每个部门逐一的要求，若这个部门资源不够，我们就得去敲另外一个部门的门，想安排日期也是费时费力。现在每个相关部门在政府内部的协调后，一切都非常快而便利，我们的乐龄的问题也更迅速地得到解决，而乐龄也通过支援网络得到定期的体检，更活跃、更健康。通过网络所网罗的邻居义工、独居老人也不再寂寞无助。可见，政府在实现我们共同理念上有非常有推动的作用，也很庆幸政府努力不断。但是，同样明显的是，人民响应号召、给予支持非常关键。若没有人愿意捐款，那我们无法实施麦波生关怀基金，帮助需要不过没钱看病的年长居民。若没有邻居愿意挺身当麦波生之友的义工，我们就无法有规模性、有规律并有组织性的去关怀照顾独居老人。在更大的层面上，若国人不支持政府，国家的计划再怎么伟大，也都无法落实。国家的大方向及所该采取的策略，理应是民选领导的责任；有效实施政策，也理应是政府各阶层的责任。但是，国家策略的成功，单靠政府一力的努力是不够的，成与败全有赖于人民的支持。否则，政府有如说话无声、出拳无力。如何实施为了国家长远利益不可不行的政策？如何确保弱势或与多数人民利益相冲突的少数群体也得到照顾？如何落实为国家人民争取竞争优势的计划？更如何在国际舞台上争一日之长短呢？政府在照顾年长国人这方面，我们其实有目共睹。但我也希望政府在亲老环境这方面下更大的功夫。年纪大了，难免在体力方面有些局限。可是那并不代表没有长处可以发挥了，更不代表人生已到尽头。只要做出适当的调整，晚年也能过得很精彩。有些年长国人可能选择继续工作，有些选择当义工，有些选择学习新事物，有些甚至选择追求年轻时未能实现的梦想。不管他们选择什么，我们应该确保环境是辅助性而非局限性的，能让他们发挥所长，继续发光发热。如此，我们的年长国人才不会消极，反而可以积极地保持身心活跃，生活得更富意义，真正成为乐龄。As we justify the need for hard measures in order to sustain fiscal sustainability, I hope we will not inadvertently attribute the cost to our elderly, which is the primary narrative on the ground now. An aging population is one of the key contributing factors, but we know that it is not the only one. and we must recognize that being old is not being useless. We need a paradigm shift across all levels and sectors of our society, that seniors are assets and not liabilities. We just need to create the right and enabling environment for them. Much of what we have today, including hardware and social infrastructure, was designed decades ago when our population was still young. It is time to refresh these to welcome a different population landscape with a different set of requirements. With Singapore undergoing rapid aging, it is important that we set the right policies, put in the right resources, and organize ourselves the right way sooner than later. We need to ensure adequate support for our elderly today and tomorrow, so that we are all empowered to age gracefully and actively in the comfort of our own homes and community. Given our expectations on social spending, it is imperative that we maximize the impact of every dollar spent. We must enable our elderly today and tomorrow to continue leading an independent and graceful life. For a start, I laud the government's move to integrate health and social care for seniors under one agency. This will ensure effective use of resources and better planning. In any case, it is the same target stakeholder group. From policies to qualifying criteria and service standards, AIC is better positioned to design and deliver a seamless suite of programs to care for our seniors holistically. On the ground, we have seen preliminary results of integrating services for seniors through the Community Network of Seniors pilot, which will soon be implemented nationwide. McPherson is fortunate to have been one of the pilot sites for the Community Network of Seniors. Within just over 6 months of implementation, we observed tangible benefits on the ground, and we have received positive feedback. At the agency level, the AIC plays a coordinating role, though it is very much a deal maker as well. In the past, if seniors have needs or encounter issues requiring our assistance, we have to approach the agencies one by one and be subjected to their available resources, which is time-consuming. Most of the time, it will be extremely challenging to get a common date that the agencies can agree on. Moreover, some agencies may not have sufficient resources or provide the right type of help. Now, with AIC's help, the process is much smoother, more coordinated, and faster. At the local level, our seniors with different needs are matched to the local VWOs for further engagement or services according to their organizational strengths. This is more targeted and demonstrates the many helping hands approach. In terms of benefits to seniors, services are more structured and holistic with proper follow-ups. Seniors do not just go through health screenings. They are given practical advice on suitable diet and exercise. And there are dedicated people who would follow up or check in on them to ensure follow-through. Seniors so far have been very appreciative of this. Beyond health services, our single elderly are now more socially connected and better cared for. Take Mr. Toh, a 66-year-old senior in McPherson, for instance. He lives alone and expressed that he felt lonely with nobody to talk to. This was brought up to the Community Network for Seniors, and a befriender was arranged to visit him on a monthly basis. He was also invited to join active aging activities at the McPherson Community Club or in the community. In addition, he was enrolled in the 24/7 EHA care line service, which he can dial into when he feels lonely at night. Mr. Toh is now a much happier person. This is an example from McPherson. With the integration at the national level, I believe the benefits will be much more. But I hope the government will go further in creating an enabling environment for seniors to continue to thrive in. First, let us design to include and empower. Mainstream elder-friendly designs and make them pervasive, so that seniors can lead a normal and productive life regardless of where they are. Apply elderly-friendly designs to the development of common spaces, facilities, machine interfaces, workflows, public processes, and more. There are some inevitable physical constraints as one ages, but that does not necessarily mean that one can no longer do meaningful work or lead an active life after becoming old. With the right environment, these constraints can be compensated and seniors can continue to thrive. No institution or country so far has been an authority in terms of setting elderly-friendly design standards. Singapore can take the lead in setting elderly-friendly standards and be the authority in this area. Second, create a favorable environment and employment opportunities for seniors. Stem out ageism. There are seniors who want to work, either out of passion or, sadly, out of financial need. Regardless, given that we have seniors who do want to work, let us help them. The government can take the lead in testing how work environment, workflows, job role designs, and even compensation and benefits such as health benefits, CPF contribution, and leave conversion can be adapted and optimized for senior workers. Third, and this is more for seniors who are less independent, proliferate digital elder care to supplement shortage of elder care manpower and help more seniors live independently. There may soon be a point in time when there are more who need care than those who can care. By leveraging technology and artificial intelligence more effectively, we can drastically change how care is provided and help even more Singaporeans age in place. I've spoken at length during the seniors motion earlier this month, and I'll speak about it again during COS. But the point is, if we can leverage technology more, if we can leverage digital elder care more, we can help more elderly Singaporeans, those who may have difficulties moving around, perhaps even paraplegics or those who may be semi-paralyzed, to be more independent and continue to enjoy the comfort of their own homes. Of course, it is not enough for the government alone to work on it. It takes two hands to clap. Our seniors need to believe in themselves and step up too. I firmly believe that our seniors are much more capable than being mere recipients of care. As we enhance our health care, we can expect longer and more healthy years. As our economy evolves, there will be less reliance on physical strength at the workplace, but more use of intellect and wisdom. As each population becomes better educated and more savvy in the digital space, there will be less fear and deeper entrenchment of technology in our everyday lives. I'm also against the self-defeating thoughts such as 老了不中用, which means that we are useless after we age, which can be self-fulfilling. Whether it is to remain active economically or socially, it is a choice our seniors have to make. But the point is that we need to keep active and we need to keep trying. Being active brings meaning to life. It helps us to look forward to every day. Is this not wonderful? In conclusion, Singapore is extraordinary because of the indomitable will of our forefathers, their resilience and discipline. Singapore weathered through many disruptions and we have transformed time and again. Hence, I hope we will continue to possess the quality of resilience and discipline so that we can continue to deliver a progressive yet compassionate Singapore. With this, I support the motion.